Have you ever walked into a break room, see someone standing there and realize you're the only two people in the room, and instead of having any kind of conversation and sometimes even acknowledging them, you just immediately pretend to check your phone just so you don't have to have that small talk? Or maybe you're starting a new job and everyone already talks to each other like they've known each other since kindergarten. And your number one goal is, please don't forget my name when somebody asks me what my name is. And moments like that, they're small, but they hit really hard. Because small talk isn't actually small. It's vulnerable and weird. And sometimes it's weirdly important. Welcome to Mental Health Potluck, where everyone brings something to the table. I'm Danny Clark, licensed clinical social worker and family therapist. This podcast is all about serving up bite-sized mental health insights, practical wellness tips, and real conversations that nourish the mind and soul. And today, we're diving into small talk, why it feels so hard for some of us, what's happening in your brain during those awkward silences, and how a few mindset shifts and a little bit of practice can turn everyday chit-chat into something that actually helps your career and relationships grow. So why is small talk so hard for some of us? Well, first we have to clear something up. Being bad at small talk doesn't mean you're shy, broken, or not a people person. Some of the most brilliant, funny, compassionate people I know freeze up when it's time to say something casual like, "Hey, how was your weekend?" And that's because small talk isn't actually small. It's vulnerability and it's social risk. Our brains are wired to scan for rejection. That's leftover survival programming. Thousands of years ago, being excluded from the group meant you might not eat or even survive. So now, even tiny moments of silence or awkwardness can trigger that same old danger feeling. And add that to any past social embarrassments, anxiety, or feelings like you never quite fit in, and yeah, it makes sense why asking, "So you live around here?" can feel like public speaking without a script. So what's your brain doing? Well, here's what happens, and let's look under the hood a bit. Your amygdala, the part of your brain in charge of fight, flight, or freeze, hears quote unquote uncertain social situation and thinks you're in danger, even if you're just asking where the printer paper is. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex is trying to stay cool and say something clever, but if your nervous system is on red alert, clever is completely off the table. You're just trying not to sweat through your shirt. It's like trying to draft an email while someone keeps yelling from the other room, "Hey, check your grammar. Don't spell anything wrong." And here's the thing. If we keep rehearsing that fear, it gets stronger. We build these neural grooves for avoidance, which is why it can feel like small talk is a skill everyone else got in middle school while we were held sick that day. So let's talk about the lies that your brain tells you in real time that causes this fear of small talk. So you picture this. So you see someone you want to talk to at work, a coworker, a potential mentor, even someone you just sort of like and you want to get to know them better. But your thoughts immediately go to, they're too busy to chat. They don't want to talk to me. I'll say something weird and it'll get awkward. Or worse, they might think I smell or don't like the way I look, so they won't want to meet me. And these are sort of extreme to a certain degree, but they do, in fact, result in things like rejection sensitivity, shame-based thinking, social phobias, social anxieties, thought insertions, delusional misidentifications, and body dysmorphic disorders. Man, that's a lot. And this is what we call the negativity bias that's working overtime. It's your brain's way of trying to protect you from discomfort. But in doing that, it also cuts you off from connections, opportunity, and growth, and is quite painful for some people. One of the simplest ways to disarm it is calling it out. Literally, say to yourself, "Oh, there's my don't say anything dumb voice again." See, labeling it or naming your mental habit makes space between you and the fear. And that space is where curiosity lives. And when you shift from self-conscious to other conscious, things change. Instead of, "What do I say?" you ask, "What can I learn?" That's how small talk turns into trust. So just calling it out can actually turn the volume down a bit on that kind of inner critical voice. You create space to act curiously, not cautiously. And that space, that's where real connection starts. But here's the thing, a lot of people miss. Small talk isn't just about being friendly. It actually does something, especially at work. You see, small talk is the handshake before the handshake. It's how people start to build trust before they know your job title, your skill set, or what kind of PowerPoint wizardry you've been capable of. And in the workplace, trust isn't just nice. It's how teams work better, how mentorships form, how your name comes up in the right rooms. You might think, I'll just let my work speak for itself. But here's the truth. People remember how you make them feel before they remember what it is you did. So that casual conversation in the hallway, it's more than filler. It's emotional glue. Now, I'm not saying you have to be the office extrovert or start cracking jokes in the break room. I'm saying small moments of connection, asking someone how their weekend went, commenting on their desk plan, or even just making eye contact and saying, hey, how you doing? Those moments build a foundation. You don't need a TED Talk. You need one honest sentence. Like, how long you been working here? Or is it always this cold in here? Or am I just the new guy? Or here's a good one. What kind of podcast do you listen to? My favorite one is Taco Chats and Laugh Attacks by Alex Lester and Danny Clark. So the point isn't to have a great conversation. The point is just to start one. And if you're trying to grow your network, get noticed, or just feel like you belong at work, small talk is how people start to see you, not your resume, the way they see you. So here are 5 low-stress, real-life ways to practice the skill of small talk. Number 1 is talk to one stranger a day. Could be the barista at your local coffee shop, the person in the elevator, or someone in line that you're having to stand with for a few moments. Make a comment about the weather, the wait time, their shoes, anything. Keep it short. It's the reps that matter. But just having those questions and just starting these kind of conversations, the critical part of that is to focus on the follow-up, not on the opener. The real magic in small talk isn't in how you start. It's in how you stay. Listen to their answer. Reflect it back and ask one more question. Oh, you're from Houston. What part? Oh, you're working on a new project? What's the most exciting piece of it? Or like I used to do to my kids when they were younger and I'd pick them up from school and they didn't want to talk to me because I'd start asking them questions. My favorite question to them was, so, who got in trouble today? Man, that would start a conversation. So the third one is actually really quite important to have small talk. And it's something that only keeps conversations going. And it's great practice, whether you're in sales, whether you're interviewing people, or whether you're just trying to learn more about somebody. Don't ask yes or no questions. Yes or no questions are the conversation killers of small talk. If you want the quickest path to ending a small talk conversation, start asking yes or no questions. Are you having a good day? Do you like your shoes? Those things just don't work. So try to stay away from them. Take one day to see if you can keep track of how many times you ask yes or no questions when there's information you need. It's a strong part of how you gather information, how you review things, and how you can bring into conversations and get to know more about what other people are thinking. It's actually one of the biggest therapy tricks I know. The fourth one, and very helpful if you're starting a new job, is to have some openers in your back pocket. When you meet somebody, ask them, so what brought you to this company? Or what's keeping you busy? What kind of projects do you have they have you working on? Or you can even ask them, what do you like to do on the weekends? Or what are you looking forward to doing on the weekends? You can think of these as like social versions of muscle memory. They're things you can remember that are like a standard interview, but they're open-ended and they're non-threatening. And above all, they're creators of small talk conversations. The last one is to practice in spaces you already moved through. Don't wait for networking events or big career moments. Use your everyday spaces, your workplace, your neighborhood, your kid's soccer game. Say one more thing than you usually would. Connection isn't built all at once. It's built over time in small, consistent moments. So that's really just all it takes to get a little bit better at small talk. You see, it's like a muscle. If it feels weak right now, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're bad at it. It just means that you haven't been able to use it very much. If small talk feels weird, awkward, or like some secret skill everyone else learned, you're not alone. Most people aren't great at small talk because they're too busy worrying that they're bad at small talk. But connection isn't about being smooth. It's about being willing. Willing to say the first thing, willing to be a little awkward, willing to risk a weird moment in exchange for a real one. And hey, worst case scenario, you ask a question, they don't hear you, and you have to pretend you were talking to someone else. We've all done it. Except if you are the only person in the room, that gets to be a little bit strange. I'm Danny Clark. Thanks for listening. If this episode helped you feel a little more human or gave you permission to be delightfully average at socializing, send it to someone who needs the same nudge. And next time you're in an elevator with someone, maybe don't fake a phone call. Just look at them and say hi.